Hey y'all, it's the Jed. I am in Malibu, California on a Saturday morning. It's peaceful, it's quiet, traffic's not out yet. And of course I'm on that gorgeous R1250RT. Hey, I've been stepping up, or trying to step up, my videography. And I wanted to show y'all a little bit about what I've done. And really, it's a thank you. Y'all have shown up and supported my channel with subscriptions, which has enabled me to monetize. And believe me, I'm not getting rich. I think to date, I've cleared about $400 before taxes, but that makes it a little more palatable to justify buying some more equipment. So I wanted to share with y'all some of what I've gotten and some of the tricks I'm trying to do to shoot myself on the bike. So this is one thing that I feel like I sort of invented for motovlogging. I built on top of my tripod a little rack to enable me to mount two GoPros. And I already had these. These are GoPro Hero 8s. If I were buying new ones, I'd go for the Hero 10, which is the current model. But these are two Hero 8s that I've had for a while. One of them I've got in what's known as the Media Mod, which just helps when you're miking it. That's the one I use on my helmet when I'm motovlogging, you know, while I'm riding, because I can run a lavalier mic from the back of that into my helmet. This is just a regular GoPro Hero 8, not in a Media Mod, but I've got kind of a little wind sock around it to try to help with wind noise. And I've got what's called an ND filter on the lens, which enables the camera to shoot with a wider aperture in bright light. And that's about as technical as I can get on it. And this is just an old camera tripod that I've had. But what's cool about this is it I think is going to enable me to shoot around corners, to capture myself riding the bike or others around corners without having to stand and shoot with a camera in my hand. So that's one side of the corner and that's the other. And hopefully I'll be able to get some footage of myself. In fact, let's roll some of that right now and see how it came out. Here's the other thing I've gotten recently. That's a little SONY ZV-E10 camera, and it's mounted on a cool little handheld tripod that has a little sort of a grappling hook attached to it. You can kind of see it right there, that little hook that comes out, and it lets you set the camera up and hang it from really wherever you can make it fit and make it work. By the way, out in Malibu, you gotta be careful where you park. I'm dangerously close to, I'm guessing that's horse shit. I'm filming myself with that right now. And you can see this is a much better lens. It's a much better sensor. And hopefully the audio's coming out pretty well too. I've got a little wind sock on the mic, on the camera itself. I'm not using a lavalier or a remote mic of any kind, so we'll have to hear how that sounds. I'm going to pick that camera up and show you how it works handheld. So I can pick this camera up and I'm going to be able to get better footage from it, clearer images, clearer footage. We'll see, but it's all because I'm trying to step up my game a little bit for y'all. I'm hoping to be able to get out to more events, interview more people, although Kenny will still be he'll still be available on the channel just as often as he has been. But anyway, I wanted to just give y'all a peek at some of what I'm doing. And then of course, when I'm through with that filming, the GoPro goes back on my helmet, and I've got the second one here on my handlebar. I don't know if you can see this, but I bought a little Chinese bolt kit for the handlebar that gives you a mounting point for a nav unit or your phone, you know, a phone mount, or your GoPro. That's one thing that that is lacking on the RT. There's just not great mounting points because of these forged handlebars, but this works out pretty well. Now if I can avoid the horse shit, we'll be in good shape. And the beauty is, now I'm on Mulholland Highway, which is a great road. It's been closed for quite some time, and they've just recently reopened it. Kenny and I rode it a couple of times while it was closed, and managed to avoid getting pulled over. But it's nice to have it back open. So the drawback about getting sophisticated with the videography, with the equipment, is that it takes planning, and it takes patience and time, and I'm not great at any of those, but I'm working on it. It's a bummer when that invades the joy of the ride, and it makes me understand why so many motovloggers, you know, do their thing solo, because you know, if you're riding with a friend, it's a bummer to make them have to wait for you to set up shots and get your cameras set up and mounted. And I'm struggling a little with that, with finding the balance between wanting to, you know, to document what I do and try to entertain and be relevant, but also, you know, enjoy riding for the sake of riding, which I need. I don't know about you, but I need it for my own mental health. So I'm working on it. And of course, I'm a total hack. You know, I feel like I do this guerrilla style. This morning, well, last night, I decided I was going to try to do something out of the ordinary for y'all today, and show you a little bit of this camera setup and camera work, but I didn't know exactly what. So I spent about an hour getting the camera equipment, you know, getting it charged and making sure I had the right lens on the camera and making sure the GoPros were set up with the right settings, and etc, etc. And then I spent probably another 30 minutes getting it loaded on the bike. And by the way, that's another thing I'm really enjoying about the RT is this top case. This BMW top case is a great size and has great access for camera equipment, and I suspected it would when I got it, and sure enough, it's really nice to be able to just pop that open and have your camera equipment all tucked away nice and neat inside. Not that you couldn't do that with the top case on say a GS. You know, those aluminum ones are certainly solid and sturdy, but they're let's see, I don't want Decker, I'm going to take Mulholland. They are they're deep and they're not lit, and so it's a little harder to be organized in them. Anyway, that took time last night getting ready, and I still, you know, I didn't have a script. I didn't know exactly where I was going to try to shoot that that little bit. I'm hoping that the footage of me on the bike came out. We'll see when I edit it. But point is, I did it all kind of on the fly, and I'm sure if I planned it out a little bit, if I scouted the day before to try to find the perfect corner to film on, it would have been better. That corner was a little tight, so I couldn't fly through it. If I had scripted it, I'm sure I would have sounded a little more intelligent. Let me just stop and show you all this scenery. This is one of the great canyon roads in Malibu that takes you down to Pacific Coast Highway. Anyway, yeah, if I had more patience and if I could plan better, I could make better content. And I'm trying. It's a struggle. Stick with me. Slowly but surely, I'm going to get better. And then the other piece of it is, having content to film. I know y'all enjoy bike reviews and demos. That takes time because you got to find a dealer willing to work with you, and then find the bikes. By the way, none of this is belly aching. I love all of this. I'm just sharing with you sort of a little bit of the behind the scenes process that goes into trying to keep a channel up and relevant. And the other thing I'm going to try to do is go to some events. To be honest, that's not always my thing. Not a knock on them at all. I know a lot of people really enjoy getting together in big gatherings of BMW riders or Harley riders or every kind of bike riders. I'm in it more for the close friendship, of 2 or 3 or 4 close friends to ride with. I enjoy taking trips. Every once in a while I enjoy an event too, but I'm much more about the ride than I am about the in-between. Still really enjoying the RT. Let me see if I can flip over and tell you how many miles I've got on it now. 1,865 miles in, and all of them have been really fun. I feel like the bike is getting dialed in, but I think it's more I'm getting dialed into the bike. I remember on the first few rides, sort of downhill turns like these, like what I'm doing right now, I was hesitant. I didn't trust the bike or the tires to the extent I should. I remember Kenny telling me, "Oh, you're gonna love it because you can just dive into downhill turns." And of course he was right. It took me a little while to get there, but now that I'm there, it's a blast. It was great on the trip up the coast that Kenny and I took a few weeks ago. It's similarly great, bebopping through these canyons and around town. It's the seat height is a welcome change for me. It's just a lot easier for me to get on and off, so I'm enjoying that. And it's just a great handling bike. mid-corner shift there. One other camera, in fact I have it with me in the top case, that I rarely use. It's a 360 degree camera, Insta 360 1R I think, or 1RS, something like that. It's hard to stay, it's hard to get good with the camera and stay good with that camera when you're using, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 different ones at once. But eventually I'll try to get better with that and incorporate some 360 degree footage into the channel as well. It's kind of neat when you can do that right. Not a car on this road right now. What is it? It's 10 a.m. Perfect weather, 64 degrees, dry. Oh, that little sweeper snuck up on me. Cyclists are out this morning, and that's fine by me. When you're on a bike, it's really no big deal. Oh, I forgot how much I love this road. Guy was just wandering a little out of his lane, but that's okay. Slava, if you're watching, thanks for giving me the heads up that Mulholland is open again. I appreciate it. And there is the Pacific. So I will take this opportunity to sign off. I will thank y'all again from the bottom of my heart for supporting me and the channel the way you have. If you're watching for the first time and you're enjoying it, I will ask you to consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting the like button if you're enjoying it. And I will see y'all next time. Hope you are doing great. Hope you're getting on your bikes and riding them. Bye.